nah. Just let Max will figure it out.
Nah.
You know what? With the amount of times we say Max can figure it out, that might as well be the catchphrase of the show. Max will sort it. You know what we should do, Raptors? We should get into like a legal thing. Like when I go to England, we should get in like legal trouble and just say like tell the cops, don't worry about it. Max will sort it out. Like we kill someone or something. Max will fix it.
Oh no. I mean, Max, you would sort that out, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah, obviously. You just edit some audio and then like you get rid of the reverb.
You just edit out the body and it's all good. Use a little bit of the fucking spot healing brush tool.
Yeah. Just like keyframe it conveniently so it's out of shot,
Yeah. Alright, is everyone recording?
I am, yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, let's do the clap sync. 3, 2, 1, clap. Alright. Oh, Max will sort it. Hi everybody, welcome to a low resolution episode of Artism Speaks. Oh, get it? See what I did there?
I get it.
Yeah, this week the return of Raptors. Say hi, Raptors.
Hi.
And Max is here also.
Good afternoon.
And we also have a new guest. Say hi, Khalosh.
Hi everyone.
So you're working on Max will throw up some footage here. You're working on an interesting little indie title called Carrion, are you not?
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah. So why don't you tell us a bit about the game?
Yes, so the game is what we call a reverse horror game. So it's this type of horror in which you aren't the one who is scared, but the NPCs who you're killing are the ones who are scared, and you assume the role of this amorphous alien being, which goes around eating people, growing, mutating, and in general, just being awesome.
I've seen some footage, and something I really liked was there's a bit where a guy he's in the bathroom, right? He's going for a piss, and then like you see I think the way you look around with this game, and they look like little eyeballs, like on tentacles. Is that it? Yeah. So they pop out through the grate in the floor and start looking at him, and he starts freaking out, and then the whole thing comes up and just fucking devours him. And I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah, basically those tentacles you mentioned, the ones you grab people with, they have those lights at the end of them. They were inspired by those deep sea fish, which
what are they called?
Anglerfish.
Anglerfish, that's the one. Thanks, Max.
No worries.
And so like from what I can tell, the more mass you consume, the bigger you get, right?
Yep, pretty much.
That and something I find interesting is like usually when I hear about lighting in pixel art games, I hear that that's hard to do. How hard is lighting in pixel art games to do?
Well, it's not the simplest, at least. I know some people who were experienced with, 3D lights, and they were like, yeah, so this has to be like the same and it's gonna be easy, and then they hit a wall and it's like, oh, that's not so easy after all.
Yeah.
But in our case, it's Sebastian, the lead developer, who did the lighting system, and we'd have to ask him whether it was hard, but he had experience from Butcher, which although Butcher ran on Unity, unlike Carrion, which is basically our own engine with running on monogame framework. So yeah, Butcher was on Unity, which obviously has its own lighting system, but it was not really, optimized for what we wanted to do and so on. So he wrote his own system for the lights anyway from scratch basically. So he had the experience. So I think he didn't have too many problems this time.
Sorry, just to clarify, can you tell us what position what role you played in the development?
Yeah, sure. I'm still playing because we are like in the pre-alpha stage still. So I'm the level and game designer for the game. I also do some like business and PR stuff on the side because, well, with our team, which is basically 4 people, we have to be multitasking a lot.
Yeah,
you
that makes
you
sense.
mentioned to me something about a public. Are you allowed to talk about that publishing?
Not really. I mean,
Alright.
soon, but today is not the day.
Alright.
I think you'll learn soon enough. But yeah, we will have a publisher most likely,
All right, that's good.
and we're quite happy about it.
Yeah, that's good.
Mm.
So I want to get back to lighting. Does the lighting actually affect the gameplay, or is it simply for mood purposes?
Currently, it's only for mood purposes, but we want to at least attempt some systems that would make use of the lighting system to some extent, wherever you make a blackout and people can see or
Yeah.
like they are lured by this light on your tentacle, things like that. So. Or perhaps maybe, but just maybe, the monster could hide in the shadows. Although given, it's kind of amorphous and it's this blob that you can't really exactly control its, all its nodes, how they, sprawl around the levels and, or like the whole map. So yeah, we can't do it like, I don't know, thief style stealth. It will be more like some hiding spots, like you can go into some hole in the wall and then wait for the for the NPCs to pass by.
I really like the lighting in the 2D environment. There's something really cool about that. Like I remember Darkwood had a big use of lighting. If you've ever played Darkwood.
I haven't yet. I do have Darkwood, especially that I know the devs. We're all Polish, so.
Oh, really? You that's cool. We've actually had the Darkwood devs on the show. They're really.
Yeah, I know.
They're really. Oh, you know. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I
I did check your channel before, so yeah.
Choice.
Actually, the PR guy, the marketing guy for Darkwood, did the PR and marketing stuff for Butcher before that.
Awesome.
So yeah, we were on the same team basically.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love those guys. Yeah, and it seems that's actually really cool. Oh,
Yeah.
Max, I found the footage of the eyes peeking up through the floor. that's I'll send it to you later. But
Cool.
So what can you tell us about Carrion, or like other than that it's like a reverse horror game, like anything story wise or anything like that, or you can't reveal stuff like that yet?
I can give you like some hints, especially that some things aren't even set in stone by now, so we just have these different ideas that we will either follow or not. But for sure it won't be a very, plot heavy, story driven game. I don't know if you played Butcher, our previous game. It didn't have too much of a story, so you can.
Yeah.
We are more like gameplay focused. This time we will have a bit more story. We are even thinking about including some dialogues between the NPCs, just mainly to give some
Make them more
person-
satisfying when you kill them, right?
Yeah, exactly. If you kill somebody who has a name, it's more meaningful.
Yeah.
So
That there was there's a bit that reminds me of in Spec Ops: The Line, where you have these two soldiers that are just talking about like, oh man, you know what I haven't had in a long time since the war started or whatever, like bubblegum or some shit like that. And it's just something about that made me not want to not shoot them, but like in this game, I think that might like encourage me to do it more. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I just want to say that this is basically what we're going for with the potential dialogues. Also, some obviously lore exposition, but we don't want to, be too much in your face with that stuff.
Yeah.
And basically it's kind of an homage to all those 80s, 90s horror movies.
Like The Thing and stuff.
Yeah, like The Thing is one of our main inspirations. So if you've seen those movies, you basically know kind of what to expect from the plot. Like basically we don't even have to reveal the plot and you know what's going on more or less.
Yeah, it's always fun playing off of cliches to tell your story.
Yeah, especially that in our case that we are reversing the horror. We can be cliche, like over the top even, because that's what people expect. They expect being this cliche monster, because when you're the monster, you don't have to be surprised by some, I don't know, plot twists or whatever.
Yeah.
You just want to, live this fantasy of doing exactly what those monsters did in all those movies.
I really love the animations of the monster. It looks so fluid. Like I'm just watching some gameplay footage right now, and just watching it move around the environment. Like I'm not even playing it, but it just looks satisfying. Yeah,
it's actually all pretty much physics based. So each node of the monster is basically a sphere.
Yeah.
And they are just connected by some like wireless or whatever. We'd have to ask our lead developer to, like give you the details. But yeah, it's basically very simple physics, but they work together so well that it actually feels very like lifelike and natural, organic, let's say.
I get it.
So I don't know how much involvement, or if you're on the team when the studio made King Arthur's Gold, but
yes,
obviously the leap in art style from that to Butcher and now Carrion is quite drastic. Was there a sit down or like some sort of discussion as to why you'd go this direction? Because it's really cool, but it's such a leap.
Yeah, basically to clear some things up, because it can be kind of confusing if you weren't there. Like King Arthur's Gold was done by the let's call him the CEO and the founder of Transhuman Design, Michał Marcinkowski, who did Soldat before that. Like it's the so-called first Polish indie game, because it was very popular among pretty much everyone before we had the term indie in the industry, really. So anyway, he did King Arthur's Gold with a fellow graphic artist from Australia. And after that, because King Arthur's Gold was a fairly huge success, he decided to finance a whole studio and several teams. And yeah, that's when Sebastian was hired to actually work on a different project as a programmer, but he also brought Butcher with him, which was his own project he did with like his fellow graphic artist who like lost interest in the project, so he didn't come together with Sebastian. So it was basically Sebastian working on, it was Transmigration. You probably haven't heard that. It was this ambitious, basically an adventure game, but you were this guy on a wheelchair, and it was very kind of. Have you played The Last Express, Jordan Mechner's game?
The Last what?
The Last
Express.
Oh.
No,
I don't think I've heard of that one, though.
It's about the Orient Express. Yeah, so anyway, or maybe Dark Seed.
Dark Seed. Is that like? I think I've heard of that one. Is that is that like with an EID? Or no, that's a character. I'm dumb.
You lost me here. Yeah, Darkseid was about this guy getting impregnated by an alien, and then you had like, I don't remember, 3 days or so to figure it out and get rid of the alien egg and whatnot. So it was like kind of yeah, that's it.
This looks really cool.
Right. I've seen this before.
This looks Oh, what's that game coming out soon called? Is Scorn? Is that it?
Yeah, Scorn.
Scorn. Yeah.
Yeah, it's also inspired by like
Geiger.
the same type of Actually, in Darkseid they used Geigers or Giggers. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah, it's whatever.
HR Giger, let's say, like the guy who designed the alien, alien. Yeah. So they grabbed his graphics and they just mashed it up and made the graphics for Darkseid. Anyway, back to the point. It was basically a real-time adventure game where you could mess up by not being in the right place at the right time and meeting the right people and so on. So yeah, this is kind of what transhuman design was also going for with transmigration, only without some bad design decisions in which you can just completely fail because you didn't predict that you have to be somewhere where you couldn't be, basically. Like, you had in Darkseid it was basically trial and error. I don't know how people could play it without a walkthrough because it basically was horribly designed in that aspect. Yeah, so it was a very ambitious project for transhuman design. And eventually, there were also some different projects and so on. Transmigration eventually was cancelled, but Butcher, which was Sebastian's side project, was brought to the company as its basically main project at towards the end. And I then, like a year or a year and a half before the release, I was hired as a level designer. And we also got Maciej Niedzielski, our composer and sound engineer, on board. And that's when we released Butcher as transhuman design. And now, in the same core team of me, Maciej Niedzielski, and Sebastian Kreskiewicz, who is the lead developer and he came up with the idea for both Butcher and now Carrion. So it's the same team as Butcher, but we are now a different company. It's called Phobia Game Studio.
Mm-hmm.
So while we are still on good terms with Michał Marcinkowski from Transhuman Design, we are not doing it together. So it's basically a whole new story. And going back to the topic of the graphics, it's basically like a totally different team who did Butcher and King Arthur's Gold. So other than the company name, they weren't related at all. So, and the first graphics for Butcher were made before Sebastian started working at Transhuman Design. So there was like no talk about, the art style. It was just a different art style, and that's it.
Fair enough.
Also funnily enough, while we were at the graphics, the first Butcher graphics, the textures, the enemies and so on were made by Sebastian's friend, back when it was a prototype, an HTML5 and JavaScript game you could play in a browser. It actually still is available somewhere. I'm not sure if it works on any browser anymore because it was a couple of years ago, but yeah, it used to be a browser game. And then Sebastian was on his own when it came to graphics. So in addition to being the programmer, he also started, working first on the textures he already had, then adding his own, and eventually by the end of the development process of Butcher, he gained enough experience and skill in pixel art that now he's able to deliver what you see in Carrion, and it's all his work from scratch this time. So yeah, he's like a renaissance man now, doing both programming and the graphics, and a one-man army.
Wow.
So what was it that got you into game design?
That's a good question. I almost always wanted to make games. Maybe not when I played my first game, which was Wolfenstein 3D. back in like kindergarten.
Ooh.
But you know, after that, I also played things like Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis, Gabriel Knight 3, you know, all the kids games, right? So yeah, around that time, I think I started to want to make games. First, I was a huge Lego blocks nerd.
Yeah.
So I actually made those kind of, let's call them game mock-ups with Lego. And pretty much all my life I wanted to do something regarding video games, not necessarily only game design or level design, although I always was most tempted by level design, I think, but I also did some, I don't know, things like music and so on. I was like, oh, maybe I should become a video game composer. Well, eventually I ended up as the level designer, but I didn't know who I'd end up as like a couple of years ago. And I was also a video game journalist for like 3 years. It was my first job actually, so it's hard to say what was the reason I picked up game design. It's just because I always wanted to do something regarding games. And also I'm not like fully focused on one thing. I mean, I did some programming back in the day. I did like some, I don't know, graphics editing, whatever. So I kind of know a bit of everything, but I'm not specialized in anything to actually be doing only that. So game design and level designs, which are kind of interdisciplinary, are like a good fit for me.
Yeah.
Being solo, like just like one thing. I don't know how some people do that, because you always want to, when you're on a project, you always want to do as much, to me at least, I always want to do as much of it as possible, you know? I always, like, I know game design and films are both a collaborative thing, but there's always that desire, like, oh, I want to do as much as possible to make it the best I can, but like, if you're doing just one thing, then you're pretty limited in that regard.
Yeah, true.
See, I find I either want to do as much as I can or as little as I can. That's where it gets a bit difficult.
It depends on the project, doesn't it?
Yeah, true.
I think every kid should have Legos. Like, the amount of like people, like creative individuals I've heard, like, oh, ever since they started playing with Legos, they've had like this passion. Every child should be granted Legos, honestly.
Should just be like a human right. Just you get Lego.
You know, food, water, air, Legos, the main essentials. Like, I talked to some people in like the film industry who said that their thing was Legos. I think John Carpenter actually was inspired by Legos as well, and he's like an old dude.
Yeah, actually, even like older people, let's call them. I mean, in game dev in general, it's not that only, you know, people were, oh, I was raised up playing with Lego blocks and so on. There are still some level designers do these workshops in which you take Lego blocks and do these prototypes of games, of levels with them. So like you can, you know, kind of nail down the biggest issues you'll face and the base mechanics. Obviously there's a lot of like make believe, right? Oh, so this block is your main character and it's like just, you know, a single block, and oh yeah, and this larger block is, I don't know, a car and so on, because it's not like doing actual buildings. It's more like abstract thing in that case. But yeah, it's like a pretty cool idea, and I think that some level designers actually do this more often when they are blocking out their levels in the beginning.
They block it out.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's actually pretty funny. I never.
Yeah. So Lego blocks are, as you said, next to air. food.
I wonder if the next generation is gonna be like, oh yeah, I played Minecraft a lot. Is it?
Yeah, that's quite possible. I guess so.
Yeah.
I feel like there are already people who are saying that now.
Yeah, but like,
that's quite horrifying.
I think the thing is, most of the people who are saying it now, it's because they went Lego and then went on to Minecraft and then continued with their life.
What you need to remember is that people born in the year 2000 are like old enough to buy alcohol and shit now.
No, they're not. What?
Yeah, they are.
Oh, in the UK.
Yeah, in the UK.
Not in America.
I was born in 97 and I still can't buy alcohol.
You poor soul.
I mean, I don't need it. I'm a good boy.
Yeah, but you want it, don't you? Let's be honest.
No, I don't. I don't want it. Look, if I wanted it, I could steal from my grandparents at any point. They wouldn't know anything. I'm just a good boy. I don't need it.
Square.
Although it is a bit sad, Max, that we are just when we have the meetup, we are going to be a few days away from legal alcohol.
True. I was going to say, sorry, very quickly, it fucks me up as well that there are people who are saying, oh, I remember the Wii and I remember the PS3 or the original Xbox. Yeah, I grew up with that. It's like, I want to die.
Oh.
Sorry for interrupting.
Yeah, just to make, just to comfort you a bit, illegal alcohol tastes better than legal alcohol. So.
It's a fair point.
Well, that's also in Poland. It could be very different.
I mean, pretty sure alcohol's just alcohol. No. I don't drink it. I just have the ability to drink it. So.
Look, if you ask my dad, he could tell you all about how alcohol is very different. He knows the ins and outs of that. But yeah, Max, I can't go drinking with you, Max. Sorry.
Nah. Next time.
Next time, yeah.
Next time.
All right, yeah, sure thing, boy. Oh, that reminds me. So, being a Polish game developer, has that affected it at all? Like in a way that's apparent.
But affected what exactly? Could you
rephrase? I think he means like, have any aspects of Polish culture got into your games and affected it in a way that people outside of Poland may not be able to realize.
So I remember the Darkwood devs mentioned that there was a lot of Polish culture in Darkwood.
Yeah, in Darkwood, yeah, that's true. But in case of Butcher and Carrion,
yeah, I don't think Polish
really.
Culture is monsters killing things.
Yeah,
we don't know. You don't know,
I've
man.
never been there. You don't know.
It's a fair point.
We barely have any horrors or anything like that. Yeah, so like the only proper monsters we have are the ones in The Witcher, and it's like a completely different story. Yes, so in our case, not really. We're mostly influenced by old school id Software, John Romero stuff, things like that. So. I mean, Butcher was basically Doom or Quake if you made them into a 2D platformer, really. So, yeah, those were our main inspirations. I think it's mostly us growing up in the 90s that affects our games and not us being Polish, to be honest. Yeah, us being Polish game devs only affects our alcohol intake because the networking in Poland in game dev is like it's vicious. It's I thought that as a student, as a high schooler, I had crazy parties, and not really, because it's the game dev industry that parties the hard.
Really? Like, yeah. You heard that?
I was gonna say, I'd never heard that. Kind of makes me more interested now because, going on to a uni course to do game design, so,
Well, it's like saving up. Like you're a game developer. You spend like a year and a half on a game. I imagine those like final like release parties they're probably big and involve a lot of alcohol. I wouldn't. I mean, I wouldn't know, but I assume that's the case. Like when you finally ship a year's worth of hard work, everyone's just gonna get drunk and have a good time. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Is that usually the case? Khalosh? Oh, he went to get a drink. That's right.
So how's it going, you two? How you doing?
Raptors, earlier today, I woke up.
Well done. That's impressive. that was low.
Alright, guys, let's answer the hard-hitting question. Sparky, why is Raptors such a little bitch?
Oh my god, we're bringing that back? Are you kidding me? It's been like a year.
I mean, literally it hasn't,
it's been
though.
A whole darn...
We've nearly been doing this for a year.
Well, okay. We've been doing it for a year, and Sparky's been in almost every episode. Sparky's on that YouTube grind.
I managed to kick you out for one.
You gotta eat shit and piss, YouTube.
Listen, that was just me not feeling it
that week, which I had to
change
the plans on a lot because, I'm shit at planning things.
Because Sparky wasn't there. I am the plan boy. Okay, can we talk about since he's off to get a drink or something? Can we talk about like fucking?
Yeah, sorry, I had some system overload. For actually, I was scared I lost the whole file, but yeah,
okay,
I'm back. Thankfully.
I was just about to screech loudly about the YouTube monetization thing.
Yeah, we can cover that.
Save that. Thank God.
Save that.
Because I know you'll have a lot of inner rage about that, Sparky.
I have the little demon that lives inside of me. He's screaming. He wants to come out. He wants to come out and do what the beast in Carrion does.
You heard it now. Sparky wants to come out.
Shut the fuck up, Mac.
God damn it, Mac. That was pretty good, though.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So you mentioned that Polish developers are party animals, yeah?
Or just developers in general.
Yeah, or developers in general. Khalosh? Alright, so he's not here. So I'm gonna talk about the YouTube monetization thing. Okay. So YouTube is stupid. I've been having to deal with this. So do you remember Soulja Boy's copyright claim when we made fun of his Halo 3 machinima?
Yeah, I remember that one.
So, okay, so we got claimed for that a while ago, and apparently one copyright claim was enough for YouTube after 1 month of reviewing our channel to decide that we upload duplicate and copyrighted content. Because we made fun of Soulja Boy's machinima, we upload duplicate and copyright infringing content. So now I've decided, alright, so that must be the problem, so I'll fight the claim now, because it was never worth fighting before, because it was just like, like a claim on an unmonetized video that got like 500 views, not worth really. So now I have to fight it. And so I said, yeah, look, this is not copyright infringement, it's fair use, we're making criticisms and commentaries on this 30-second clip, it doesn't impact the financials of the owner or whatever. And they declined it. They said, no, this is infringing on our copyright, why does he care
really
so much?
He's proud of his Halo 3 machinima, you know?
Why does he care? It's just like a shitty Halo 3 machinima, it's not even good. I think he recorded it in the amount of time it took for us to watch it. It's literally just him and his boys just running around like shooting things and stuff and screeching.
So weird that that's what's come back to bite us. From all of our time, Soulja Boy.
So, like, remember when I uploaded the entirety of a Smash Mouth song into the video?
Yeah,
that's
the same
okay.
video as well, I'm pretty sure.
That's okay. It's because Smash Mouth's cool. Smash Mouth's cool. I'm gonna tweet from the Artism account. Smash Mouth over.
I mean, that's just a blatant fact. So
it is. So Smash Mouth. I wouldn't even fight it if Smash Mouth came after us because we did literally just upload their
For no
entire
reason.
song.
Like, we were actually talking, but you just edited it in because
I was.
you have, like, brain damage, Sparky.
Look, it was important to the episode that we had.
You know what?
Smash
You know
Mouth.
what's funny? Like all of the times I was going, "Oh, Sparky, you need to put shit up on the screen when you talk about it because like we don't know what the fuck you're talking about." And it's like I think
He certainly put it up on screen.
came back to bite.
I put up the music video. Smash Mouth didn't care. Soulja Boy is upset because we made. How can he even? You know what's also funny is that he didn't even monetize his own video. I checked. The fucking Halo 3 Machinima's not even monetized.
Is it actually a machinima or is it
just,
on Machinima's
It's just
channel?
a machinima.
No, it's a
not
Machinima.
Like, official.
Yeah, that's probably why. Yeah.
It's not even monetized. So why does his company or whatever care? Soulja Boy, if you're listening to this, I have my legal team ready. Max is my representative. And we're coming for your ass, yeah?
Max will sort it.
If I recall, Soulja Boy's been shitposting a bit on Twitter, and each time I see it, I'm like, you've done us wrong once before. I can't be having that.
Apparently he plays RuneScape as well.
Okay, that makes him a good person.
he plays Yu-Gi-Oh!
That makes him also a good person.
He plays Yu-Gi-Oh! Too. Like, he plays Yu-Gi-Oh!
Khalosh, you back?
Yes.
Oh, hi, Khalosh.
Yeah, I'm back. Sorry. I just figured out that I had Logic Pro settings for like recording guitars and not half an hour of of voice. So yeah, it should be okay now. Yeah.
Did you ever, Khalosh? Have you ever played Yu-Gi-Oh?
Is this the direction we're taking?
No, I haven't. Although we used to have the anime series on the Polish TV here, so I've seen some of it. Yeah, but I haven't played.
Do you recall what your favorite character from the series would be? You like a Seto Kaiba or a Yugi or a Joey?
I'm gonna be honest.
No, I can tell you that.
I'm gonna keep it real with you, Chief. This ain't the way.
Like Sparky, mate.
Khalosh.
I don't think.
What?
I don't think he watches. Like,
You
don't think he watched it that detailed, you know.
Look! You only need to have watched one episode to have established a favorite character. Like if I go outside and I see a flock of birds, I can decide a favorite bird.
Is this really what we're doing?
Maybe you can. I don't know.
Well, that one's pink. I like that one because it's got pink feathers, so that's my favorite one. There you go. You know, you don't even have to like hear the characters talk. You can just see a design. It's like, that one's my favorite.
But what if that one's actually a really, really bad character? And then you find out what then, Sparky? How's that gonna work? You gotta think of these things.
Oh no. Well, like, what if they're good though? Like, what if it's good, like Seto Kaiba?
No.
No, I mean no. You can't just say no.
I just did.
Oh.
Also, I don't watch Yu-Gi-Oh, so I have no idea.
Oh yeah, you're a heretic. I forgot that.
You're more of a Sailor Moon guy?
I mean, yeah, but I haven't watched that either.
Sailor Moon. I thought you were gonna go Pokemon. I didn't think of Sailor Moon. You know,
Pokemon would be too easy, you know.
Pokemon would be too easy. They were direct competitors. Sailor Moon was the big thing. I remember I go to school and like all the kids would be talking about like, Sailor Moon. Yo, you got the Sailor Mars trading card.
Yeah, we didn't have trading cards. I mean, we had those basically cards that were like out of a notebook, which you could draw on them or write on them, but they had those graphics. So yeah, of Sailor Moon or whatever was popular at the time, and people would trade them and collect those those sheets and put them in like their collections. It like from today's perspective, it was really odd because it's like yeah, it's kind of, if you took paper and yeah, because those weren't like, like extremely high quality, like art book level things. It was basically something that write a letter on or some notes, but it had those graphics, like kind of semi-transparent, and people were like, yeah, I need this one. So people would trade those. It was very popular back in the 90s in Poland. I don't know if anywhere else in the world it was a thing. It was odd, to be honest.
I've never.
I just remember being confused because people in my school collected cards with little footballers on them, and I had no idea what that was about.
I never understood sports cards trading. That always made no sense to me because I'm like, these are real people. Why do I want to collect them? This is just weird. I liked like Yu-Gi-Oh cards because they had like they did things. Like, oh, the Blue Eyes White Dragon is a good card because it has a lot of attack points or something. I never really cared, and was just like, how many fucking attack points does Babe Ruth have?
That's a question we all ask every now and then.
Yeah, probably not. Not as many as Blue Eyes did he?
Is Peyton Manning a flip effect card?
Oh no!
I don't even know any sports people, but just the concept of putting them in Yu-Gi-Oh cards is funny to me.
Yeah, they're just like fighting each other. It's just like, oh, this one has a home run hit percentage of like 55 or something like that. It's crazy. So you'd have to like have a roll the die type of thing, like or like some kind of percentage thing. I don't know, like.
Now you're just describing fantasy football.
You roll a die, and if it's above a 2, then you get a home run. That's how it works. I'm a game designer.
I think above a 2 is more common than not.
I know, because he's a really good card, man. He's rare. I was inspired by Lego.
Six fuck.
Good. Continue.
Khalosh, you said you're a party animal. Do you have any tales that you want to share with us? No? Cool. Okay, so...
I'll take that as no.
That's what
You're talking about Sparky's shit football game.
So imagine this. He's got a bat, and his special abilities, he can knock out the other players just with a bat. He swings it and he beats them.
I think that would be illegal.
No, not in my card game. It's fantasy.
Oh yeah, you know what? That explains it perfectly. Great job.
Khalosh, you there? Oh damn!
I have a feeling that the things happen again.
The thing?
And I don't mean the movie.
Oh, that's right on topic, Raptors. Because
Carrion, I did it. That was a funny joke.
You did a funny.
I don't want to toot my own horn, but I'm really proud of myself.
I'm a funny boy.
I'm gonna take a swig of some Coke for that. That was quality.
Yeah, don't do.
Oh, have you upgraded from Little Cola?
No, it's still freeway cola from Lidl.
What about Smooth Cola?
It's quite smooth, but it's not Pepsi.
Oh my... Damn, that's a real shame. I liked that episode. It had Smooth in it. Max didn't like the episode. Max was like, "Oh, where's Raptors and Max?"
I don't think I asked where Max was. I think I was fully aware. I think you offered me a spot on that episode, and I said no.
Well, I offered you a spot because I thought it'd be like, oh, so Max doesn't like Smooth, so this is the perfect. This is a bonding
not like
opportunity.
Smooth. It's just
you went out of your way to remove him from your video game.
He shouldn't have been in there in the first place. I'm sorry, but I don't think Smooth has like downloaded the fucking Gen 6 Skiddo model and has that in his Gary's mod either. It's just fair.
Well, that wasn't the thing. That wasn't the point, though. Is that he never downloaded it, but you went out of your way to delete him.
Yeah, well, he shouldn't have been there in the first place. I'm sorry.
Why?
He seems like a nice chap, but he just shouldn't have been there.
Yeah, he should have.
He shouldn't have.
We needed him for the video.
Khalosh? Fuck's sake.
I blame Max.
Oh well, it's all good. How far into this are we?
We are 40 minutes.
45.
45.
Doing good.
We're doing good, yes. But, like, still, though. Come on, man. Smooth Cola Pepsi? How you gonna just, like, knock him? What's wrong with you?
Okay, for citation, I joined Sparky's Gary's Mod server, which came with a pack of add-ons, and one of these add-ons was like a fucking skin for to like replace the Half-Life 2 can skin with like a Smooth Cola Pepsi's profile picture, which I wasn't too fond of, not because I dislike Smooth, but because I don't know who this man is. He could be anyone for all I know, you know? And it's like, oh, well, you got to keep him there. I was like, well, I don't particularly want to. I don't really know him.
Okay.
And then you started hating him for no real reason.
Yeah, exactly.
Really
I mean,
jarring.
You're like, oh, that's Smooth. Grr.
Yeah.
Oh, you like that?
Well, it's like, it's okay. If I speak to him again, I'll be friendly. It's just,
Yeah, he's
as
gonna,
long as he...
like, die. He's gonna scream die at him.
I don't think he will. He seems like a very tempered, very mannered person.
Did anyone else hear that?
Was...
Yes, I think my brother is streaming Fortnite in the next room.
Oh, I thought that was Khalosh.
No.
See, okay, Max, can you make sure when you're editing this that you just single out that sound and just make it as loud as possible, just so that nobody missed it.
And also
Alright,
put
sure.
the word put like the word fuck on the screen.
Oh, yeah, sure.
In the text that's like got
Impact
the fire
font.
coming off it.
Do you want to kill like 4 minutes by doing the audible thing, or is that not something we want to do anymore?
I mean, we can.
Raptors, you haven't
We
gotten to
probably
do an ad read yet, have you?
I haven't, because I don't really fancy doing an ad read. It's too much pressure.
Is it though? Because we're trying to lose it
little
at this
bit.
point. So
Oh, if we're trying to lose it,
don't go like out of your way.
I'm not gonna go like crazy with it.
Don't
I'm
just be
gonna,
like,
you know, not
fuck
be
on.
careful.
My favorite thing
No,
is
it would be. I mean, now there's you saying that, so.
Khalosh? There.
My favorite thing is
I'm
when-
just concerned now. I'm sorry.
my favorite thing is when we were excited, like this is like the first time we got it, like the first time.
Oh, he wants to.
Can you
Khalosh?
hear me? Yeah?
Oh
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
I actually heard you, but you stopped hearing me for some reason. Yeah, and the fuck wasn't me because I'd say kurwa, and it would be even louder. So yeah.
That makes sense.
Oh, okay. So we've been wanting to ask you about your party statement.
Here we go. This is the moment. 20 minutes in the making. Right, tell us your best party story.
Oh. I guess I don't remember the best party stories because, you know.
You're drunk.
I mean, no. Just completely wasted. But yeah, we had a couple of good ones. One of the most interesting ones to me, because I don't remember it, is that after one of the after parties on PGA, it was Poznań Game Arena. It's one of the largest events in Poland when it comes to games, and basically PGA is for everyone, for the fans, for the, you know, kids and so on, but also along this is a game industry conference, and that's where all the game dev guys who don't have their own booths, they hang out and, you know, listen to John Romero or whoever they invite to give some speeches. Yeah. So anyway, after one of the main after party, basically every day there's an after party, but there is this main Twitch after party. I checked my phone for the pictures in my phone, and I saw a picture of the toilet at the event, which was completely wrecked, and there was blood everywhere. And I have no recollection of A, taking this picture, and B, I have no idea what happened there. So that's like one of the more mysterious ones.
I love that as you said that, like an ominous rumbling noise started.
And that's how I came up with the plot for Carrion.
Did anyone else hear the ominous rumbling?
I think I did, actually. I just didn't register it.
That was scary. Were you like playing some of the Carrion soundtrack or something? It's terrifying. So, like, it was as soon as he said, and then he was covered in blood.
Like, at that point, one of the like lights on the end of like the fleshy tentacles should have just like come up out of the toilet. You don't know what's happening now. It's a scary time.
Cursed video.
Yeah, basically the toilet scene in the trailer was clearly inspired by real events.
You just don't remember them.
Yeah, I don't. So I can't tell you if it wasn't actually a flesh monster there in the toilet. It could have been.
Yeah, because you can't confirm it. Oh no.
Yeah.
It could be out there. That's unsettling.
In the next Carrion trailer, you gotta put inspired based on a true story. like all those shitty fucking horror movies these days, the ones that are just like absolutely not based on a true story, where like God comes down himself and he smites the demon or something.
That's a pretty based on a true story, that one. And it's
that's
just
totally
so
happened.
Totally
happened to you.
It totally might have happened. So yeah, close enough.
Based on a true story, by this point, just means like you heard a neighborhood kid say like, "Oh, dude, my grandma said something it was like really creepy the other day. She was looking at me like for like 5 minutes straight," and then that became like the M. Night Shyamalan movie where he's just the creepy grandparents, and just stretch it out a whole bunch. It's crazy. This is based on a true story, my ass. Carrion is based on a true story, though. Wait, is it in space? Is it in space? Like, or is that like an underground facility?
It's an underground facility, but probably the monster will come from space.
Oh yeah,
just like most good monsters come from.
Yeah, like the Thing, basically.
Yeah.
Like, one of the ideas, I'm gonna spoil it for you, is that possibly the intro will start with you being on an alien spaceship that you will crash, and that's when, it crashes somewhere on Earth. That's where the proper game starts, after you are caught by the scientists or whatever. So, like, if you take the Thing, we kind of start before it crashes, because in the Thing you have this like frozen spaceship that has been there for who knows how long, and we might show kind of like this, but how it happened.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, but that's only one of the ideas, so we might exchange it for something more with ponies and rainbows and.
That would be really like huge juxtaposition right there.
That'd be hilarious, especially if like it starts off with a pony or something like that, and then like the monster like rips it in half from the inside and it comes out.
Yeah, that would be hilarious, actually.
I mean, that's just a trailer in the making. Like,
and you start playing the Doom soundtrack.
I think you get into issues with making a trailer at that point.
No, look, just ask Jeff Gordon. Was that it? Yeah, just ask Jeff Gordon and be like,
Mick Gordon.
Jeff Gordon. I don't know where that came from.
I think you might have mixed him with Jeff Goldblum. That might have just...
Ask Jeff Goldblum if he wants to provide you the Doom soundtrack.
Yeah, actually we have a second composer on board. It's Chris Velasco. Who you may recall from Resident Evil 7 recently, or some Mass Effect tracks.
I thought you were about to say that you actually had Jeff Goldblum.
No, we don't have Jeff Goldblum, although that would be pretty cool, actually.
Jeff Goldblum, if you're listening, give him a call.
If Jeff Goldblum actually did call you guys and was like, "Hey, how can I help with the game?" Would you give him like the only voiced role in the game?
Yeah, definitely. He could voice everyone, and he could do it even like for free, because it's an honor for him to voice everyone in Carrion.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Definitely. So yeah, back to our actual star on board, Chris Velasco. He saw some gifs on Twitter and he just approached Sebastian on Facebook. Yo, dude, I'm making music for games like Bloodborne and so on. I wanna do music for your game, for Carrion? And we're like, yeah, why not? And now we have him on board, which is cool.
Twitter can be good sometimes.
Yeah, actually, Carrion is kind of like the development process. We sometimes call it that it's a Twitter-based development process, because Sebastian started posting GIFs very early in the development. Like it was like this prototype of a prototype, basically. We just had some flashy things crawling around and some like unanimated sprites of people that would get absorbed by it. It was basically more like Katamari at this point, because you just run into them and you had to absorb them, and that was it. And actually people started sharing it and liking those GIFs on Twitter. And like, even I think the least performing Carrion GIF had way more shares and likes than anything we had with Butcher. So we're like, okay, so maybe we should do more of this. And then Sebastian was working on further, prototypes. And eventually, we knew that it's actually a game we should do, because, like, his Twitter blew up compared to what we had with Butcher. And yeah, then actually we decided to kind of reveal the game. And when we did actually the trailer didn't go viral. It just had some views, but not as many. But a couple of days later, we did a gameplay video for the Mix event and Monogame, who approached us for some videos. So Media Indie Exchange. It was like an event for indies hosted alongside GDC this year. And yeah, we didn't even publish this gameplay video anywhere. It was just on our channel. So basically someone who saw the trailer also found the gameplay, and he posted it on Reddit. And one day we get a Facebook message that, oh, you should, Facebook or on our Discord, I don't remember. Anyway, somebody messaged us, oh, you should, check out Reddit because you are trending there and you're on the first page of video games. And we're like, oh, really? And eventually, we actually did a small Q&A there, because people were asking some questions and we answered them. And for a full day, we were at the top position on Reddit, which was like a huge surprise, because we didn't even plan on officially showing this video anywhere besides the event. And it blew up, and the gameplay has twice as many views as the trailer, which is kind of funny, because, the trailer was a couple of hard days and nights of crunching to deliver it. And also Chris Velasco did some music for it, and basically it was a lot of work. And then the gameplay, which didn't require half as much work, and maybe only from our sound designer Maciej, because the game was basically like, it was a silent game at this point in time. It didn't really have any sounds like the basic walking and so on. So he actually kind of did the sounds to the gameplay recording. So he kind of did it as if it was a movie, and then he used all those sounds that created for this gameplay video, and he actually put them in the game. But it was like this reverse process, and actually he says that this workflow was very good for him, because he had like the idea of how the full game should sound at that point, because he had everything on record. He didn't do those sounds in isolation. So actually, I think that the game sounds better because of that strange workflow. So that's actually a pretty cool tip to sound engineers, I guess, that they can try something like that.
Yeah.
And he did it extremely fast, because I guess that otherwise he'd be like taking months to do some of the sounds. And because we had some deadlines, he had like, I don't know, 2 weeks to add sounds for basically everything that was going on in the gameplay video. So he was like crunching very hard, but then almost the whole prototype was had sounds, and that was pretty cool. So yeah, definitely a good workflow for him. If you don't sleep, that's a great workflow.
Yeah.
I was going to ask as well. Are any of the aspects of Carrion inspired by Crawl? Like, because thinking about it, these are both games where you control the monsters rather than control being the main character, which I think is a cool parallel.
Which game? Come again, please.
Crawl. I believe that was by Powerhoof. That was a game where players would control the monsters and try to kill the hero, as opposed to
yeah, I remember
being
that.
the hero and trying to kill the monsters.
I'm not sure if I recall this particular
So
game.
the answer to my question is no. Don't worry.
So wasn't that the game that had a limited life pool for the entire like player base?
No, that's a different one.
No, yeah.
Oh, okay. That was another game where you played the monster.
If I recall, Crawl is like
we were
four-player co-op split. Only not co-op because you're trying to kill each other. Split screen.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I haven't heard of that game before. I'll check it out. Yeah, what we are actually inspired by when it comes to games, it was mostly, I think, Aliens versus Predator, because you could play both the alien and the Predator, and like who wanted to play the Marine when you can be either of those. So we're kind of raised on those games, and yeah, it was a huge influence that being an alien can be really cool, and this changed control scheme and the way you control the meat monster in Carrion is also like kind of not completely standard. Although it's not awkward to control, which is quite an achievement from Sebastian's part, that it's actually very comfortable to play as the monster, but it took him a lot of work to get it to that point. And first he started with the mouse controls, and we weren't completely sure if it's going to translate nicely to gamepads, although from the very beginning we knew that we need proper control support. It was one of the mistakes we did with Butcher. We assumed that if we're releasing only on PCs, I mean, eventually we did all ports on consoles, but first it was a PC Master Race game, and we thought that, when you're playing on a PC and you're playing an old school hardcore shooter, you are going to play with a keyboard and mouse. But we were wrong. So yeah, we had like this very basic and kind of shitty controller support. So in theory, you could play with a controller, but the game was unplayable, basically. So eventually we did proper controller support for Butcher, and it actually plays pretty well. In a way, it's easier because we had to put some auto-aim there, obviously. But after that we knew that even if we want to release the game only on PC, although we're going to launch on some consoles, at least on Switch, right away, day one, that we need proper controller support anyway. So yeah, I did the gamepad input design, because Sebastian doesn't, he's a PC Master Race guy, so he doesn't really play on consoles and on gamepads too much. I'm kind of the opposite nowadays, so yeah, I came up with a pretty decent, I think, way to translate it to gamepads. It's totally different than what we have with mouse, but it's also pretty cool. It's in a way obviously less precise but more physical, like this grabbing motion and throwing people around and ripping out their skulls together with the spines, things like that. So like everything you do on a daily basis in Carrion. It actually feels more realistic. So it's it actually suits the game well, given that it's based on 3 events, as we've already said.
Fair enough.
All right. So when can we so we're getting towards the end here. So when can we expect to be able to play Carrion?
Well, we might have some like a special, let's say, demo or a preview build for next year's Halloween, perhaps. But in general, the full game will most likely be released sometime in Q2 2020. So yeah, there's still some, or actually a lot of work ahead of us.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on and talking about your game. It sounds like a really fun game from all the footage I've seen and from what you've said so far.
Yeah, I'm going to be getting it for definite.
Yeah. I like those physics kinds of games where you kill things. But yeah, thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
And have a good day.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me. Max is going to have to figure out how to get all my recordings in
Max
order.
Will sort it.
Max will sort it
Sounds
out.
like a wizard.
Because of my technical issues, it's going to be fun times for him. Yeah, so sorry, Max.
No, that's all right. Genuinely, I'll sort it out.
Yeah. So
yeah, sorry, things got a bit derailed because of all of that, but
yeah, actually,
good chat regardless.
Yeah, I have to prepare better next time for recording like hour-long sessions.
It's okay. Artism. It's okay to fuck up on Artism Speaks. You're all good.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, each time you say it, I kind of expect Autism Speaks.
Yeah. that's annoyingly what comes up when you search it on YouTube. So we're getting there.
We're getting better though. We show up.
Might show up eventually.
All right. Well, all right. Well, thanks for coming on, and be sure to check out next week and Carrion when that comes out. You can. I'll put a link to Twitter in the description.
Sure. Cool. Okay. Thanks out, guys.